Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown. The three, steps back, crossover, puts up a three. Rebound James. Second. It's over. It's over. Cleveland is a city of champions once again. The Cavaliers are NBA champions.
Cleveland! This is for you!
What's up, Cavs fans? Welcome to another edition of the Block the Shot to Stop, our getting ready for the season episode here with Skylar Webker. I am Kevin Lynch. Skylar, we did this last year. We went about an hour and a half. We're not going to do that this year. We've capped ourselves at 50 minutes. But to get right into it, like, you know, I hate to say expectations for this year, but I think what I want to ask is, like, we know their Cavs are going to be good. We know there's really no reason, barring catastrophe, that they're not going to be a top 2 seed in the East. What do you expect to be different from the Cavs this year versus last year?
I think we'll see a lot more, as we've already seen in kind of the preseason, we'll see a lot more man defense instead of kind of throwing out zone. We saw how that worked a lot in the regular season, but that kind of fizzled out or flamed out there in the playoffs. But I fully expect to see a bunch of different defensive scheming, as well as, like they've kind of been preaching all offseason, that Evan Mobley is going to be the focal point of this offense. We'll see how long that leash is or how that comes into fruition. But I mean, we saw it in the playoffs where he would disappear in a second half and be out there for 17 minutes with no points and not really be in effect out there. So I think we'll see kind of that next step, and hopefully that next step of Evan Mobley, where he can be ball dominant in the crunch time of a game.
I agree with that. I mean, I think an increased focus on Evan being the guy offensively, at least at times. I completely see that being something different. Like mine, I mean, I don't mean to say this as a disappointment. I think they're going to deprioritize the regular season just like 10% versus last year. Like, and they're going to say, we know, like, we should be a top 2 seed. And if for any reason they're not halfway through the year, then maybe they turn it up. But I think they're going to, you know, rest the guy a game when he could play with a minor injury, you know, give a guy a couple more games off than last year, things like that. I think this year, the concept was proven last year. Kenny's team, all these players, it was proven that they were the second best regular season team in the NBA last year, best in the East. And so now it's all about, like, how do we transfer all the success we had in the regular season to the playoffs? And if that means taking a little bit of a step back in the regular season, we're fine with that.
Yeah, I would agree. I think where they're going to lose a lot more games this year. I don't think they could definitely prove me wrong, but I don't think they'll have 2 15-game winning streaks this season, especially coming out of the gate.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, I think the other thing I notice is I think they're going to play with a little bit more variety this year. And I see that because of some of the guys, the new guys that they have, and some of the guys, you know, the prioritizing of Evan with the offense. I think last year their system was so good they didn't have to really differentiate from it or do a whole lot different. I think this year they're going to try and play with, like, different looks, different lineups, you know, maybe run a little bit different offense, maybe deprioritize the 3 at times, prioritize it more at times. So the other thing, I think there's going to be more flexibility with the group and with the strategy from Kenny and the rest of the coaching staff.
Yeah, I mean, we thought last year's team was the deepest team. I kind of think this team is deeper than last year's team.
Yeah.
You lose Ty Jerome, you lose Isaac Okoro. Those are really the only guys you lost.
Yeah.
You brought in Larry Nance, you brought in Lonzo Ball, you brought in, you had Tyson, which we think is going to have a huge impact in this year's team. You brought in Naquan Tomlin, who looks great. So I think this team looks, and Proctor also, I think this team looks deeper than last year. And that, I think that's going to allow them to not have to play their starters a lot of games, take some load management or take some time to like really be ready for the back half of the season. And then also to what you said, where they can try a lot more different looks, a lot more different lineups and everything like that.
I think they're overall deeper. I agree with you. I think they're a little bit less deep in the backcourt and more deep, definitely at the big man spot and a little bit on the wing as well, especially when Strus comes back. Last year they were kind of guard heavy, and now last year they only played with two bigs. I mean, Tristan Thompson was, a victory cigar. And now they have four guys in addition to J.A. and Mobley in like Larry Nance Jr. and Naquan Tomlin that I think can play real roles. Some people would even throw Thomas Bryant into that. I'm not quite as high on him as others, but they definitely prioritize being deeper across positions on the team. Like they had 10, 11, 12 good players last year, but they were just kind of heavy at one spot. Now they're a little bit more evenly distributed.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think this team will definitely go. We've seen it go in the regular season.
Yeah.
I think obviously the question on this team is how far they'll go in the postseason or in the playoffs, but we'll see when we get there. I mean, this team is still far from complete with the Strus and Garland injuries to start the season here.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I should have said at the top, but we are streaming on Playback as well as YouTube tonight on our live episode. We have some of our friends from Playback here. I'm going to bring them on in a minute, but the guys from the land, BTOW, Wes, they're going to hop on here in a few minutes. We're going to get some bold predictions and best bets from them. Big Rig, thanks for jumping on as well. He's a mainstay over in the land and a huge Cavs fan. But before we get to them, I am going to throw a very hard question at you, Skylar, that I wrote down, and I don't know if you prep for it. End of the year, when we do our postseason episode and we're doing, MVP of the Cavs, who's going to be the MVP? Is Mitchell or Mobley going to be their best player this year?
I think if you want the Cavs to go where they need to go or want to go, if they want a parade in Cleveland, it's got to be Evan Mobley as your best player on this team.
Yeah, I agree, and I think in the regular season, it will be Evan Mobley. I think, come playoff time, Donovan may kind of reassert himself on the offensive end. But I think everything is pointing towards Evan Mobley being the man on this Cavaliers team, making a run at things like, first team All NBA, seeing his stats increase. And so I agree with you. And I also agree that it would be what's best for the Cavs as a whole. The number one priority, as we said before, this team is to maximize, Evan Mobley's ceiling, help him reach his ceiling. And I think this could legitimately be the first year of his prime. Usually NBA players hit their prime around 25, 26. He's a year or two younger than that, but he's ahead of the curve far enough. And he's so developed on the defensive end that I think this could be the first year of a very long prime for Evan Mobley.
Yeah, I agree. All
right. So we want to touch on the Cavs throwback unis real quick before we get to the meat of our podcast here. Uniforms and attire is you are way better at than me. So I will give you the floor. Everything you thought of this week when they officially went back to the throwback jerseys, like what you think of the new designs, go for it.
Love them. For any listening audience that can't see, I'm wearing the windbreaker that they put out. I mean, the wind doesn't stand a damn chance against me, but it's incredible. These are so clean, so fresh.
Yeah.
They are throwback to kind of that early 2000s, the 2003 team, which is, really when a lot of people got introduction to the Cavs and to Cleveland, and, was there for some people dipping point into NBA as a whole. So I love these uniforms. I'm actually going to pull them up here.
Yeah, I mean, and you danced around it, but let's be honest, these are the jerseys that the Cavs are wearing when LeBron James entered the room. And frankly, changed the whole trajectory of this franchise for this century, for everything that he did in both his first and second stints, and then And now we're on basically the third generation of the Cavs in the 21st century, the first LeBron-less one. And so, a lot of times with jerseys, it is the look and it is kind of the age that goes by. Like wine, people appreciate it a little bit more as some years go by. But it's also the nostalgia of this is when the hometown kid walked into whatever we were calling Rocket Arena at that time. And
I think it was still the Gund.
Yeah, I think it was. I think you're right. But yeah, man, I mean, it's awesome. I mean, Lord knows the NBA needs to make more money. But the Cavs in particular need to make more money. They're the only team in the second apron. Dan Gilbert has just opened his wallet for the success of the Cleveland Cavaliers. So go buy a throwback jersey, everybody.
Well, if you'll let me put my tinfoil hat on.
Please.
It's quite, what should I say, convenient that this is how the Cavs announced these jerseys, which, I mean, let's be honest, they're called the LeBron jerseys. These are the LeBron jerseys. Their posts were the starting four, and they conveniently didn't put the small forward in there.
Mm-hmm.
They conveniently, like, it's not Lonzo Ball, it's not Hunter, it's not Larry Nance. It's convenient that these come out. Obviously, he's a free agent at the end of this year. And I don't know, just the absence of having the fifth starter in this post. It says something.
It says something, or see, I'm usually the conspiracy guy. But like I'm also saying, like, how many media things have they done where it's been those four guys? Like they are the big four, we call them. So is it a conspiracy? Possibly. Is it a coincidence that their four best players happen to not play small forward? And so that's where it begins. But I'm with you. I'm all for conspiracies. Conspiracies sell tickets. They're fun as long as you don't go too crazy with them. But in this sense, let me ask you point blank. Do you believe this was a coincidence, or do you have a tinfoil hat sitting somewhere on your desk?
Tinfoil hat all the way. I mean, with all the other rumors and allegations that came out this offseason and cryptic posts from LeBron and everybody, it's all too coincidental that all those things happened. And then these uniforms come back and the post doesn't have a small forward in the lineup.
Yeah.
It's too coincidental.
Yeah, I better let you're on fire, but Liam says hi. Your lovely wife Devin and son are joining us, so I want to make sure we called them out. All right, well, we're gonna move on to one of my favorite subjects, not only the Cavaliers but sports gambling. And we, like I said, we have a couple friends from the land here. BTOW and Wes, I'm going to invite you both right now, or just hop on stage. But while I'm getting them on, Skylar, why don't you give us some of your best bets?
I think my best pick, and forgive me if the odds have changed. I looked at it yesterday, but I think my best pick is Lonzo Ball, sixth man of the year at plus 6,000. Lonzo Ball, sixth man of the year. I mean, look, we know he's going to play a big role on this team. Obviously, to what you said last year, Kevin, to the winner get the spoils. They're going to be the best team in the East. So they're going to have a lot of attention. I think they have one of the most national games this year in recent years. I think Lonzo, sixth man of the year, is a real possibility.
You went off the board. I love it. I don't think he's going to play the 65 games. Actually, you know what? We learned this last year. You don't have to play 65 games to win sixth man of the year, because that was the argument against Ty Jerome. Oh, look, you're on it, Skylar. I like it.
I gotta say, Skylar, I'm gonna have to search for a new pick. That was literally the bet I placed. I got it at
7,500. You got better odds.
Sixth man of the year.
No way. Well,
Great minds.
That's okay, Brandon, because I wanted you here when I gave mine, because I think if you're looking to make bets, you're gonna love this. And then usually you're supposed to let your guest go first, but Wes, I'll let you go after me. But so I'm going to introduce anyone who doesn't already know it to what's called is layer betting. Layer betting is when you love one particular player, so you bet multiple stacking things of theirs. And I'm going to choose our guy, Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley, as a reminder, averaged 18.5 points, 9.5 rebounds last year. Evan Mobley to score 20 points a game, which I think is a given for this year. It's plus money. It's plus 110. For him to score 22 points a game, it's plus 390. Almost 4 times your money. And for him to score 24 points, it's plus 1,200. So what I'm going to do, we're going to pretend you have $100.
Uh-oh.
I think we lost Kevin's internet.
Then I will go plus
what?
I'm trying to get this Evan Mobley ladder in.
Guys, this is my fault. I was on the same line of thinking as Kevin, so I'm actually hacking his internet so that he can't steal my picks.
You're pretty good at hacking internet. I might need to hit you up later on something unrelated.
Yeah. Find me on the
while we
dark
try
web.
to get Kevin back, Wes, we'll let you go.
All right. Well, I will not actually steal Kevin's thunder, though the Mobley line of thinking is something I'm very much in on as well. I had pretty much all the picks that Kevin was alluding to there, but I'm gonna leave that for him to talk about. I'm gonna go in a little bit of a different direction with our boy Mobley and talk about some awards that he may win towards the end of the season. The first one that stood out to me is he is plus 1,200 to win the Eastern Conference Finals MVP.
Wow.
I think if Mobley takes the leap that we all hope he takes this year, if he takes the leap that is needed to win a title for the Cavs, at plus 1,200 to win the Eastern Conference MVP, I'll take that right now.
That's a good one.
The other one that I thought was kind of fun and pretty off the board was he's plus 3,000 to win the NBA Cup MVP. So, if he's going to have this leap, the NBA Cup, people kind of mess around. It's still early season. If Mobley's he's gonna need to start hot right out of the gates. Why not win the NBA Cup MVP? I think the Cavs can win the NBA Cup.
Yeah. No, I love those, Wes. I'm sorry. Thanks for picking up for me. And apparently my computer decided to join a hotspot instead of just the internet at my house. So my apologies. Nice. But anyway, a short version, what I was saying, so I'm going to bet a good amount of money on Evan Mobley plus 20 points, plus 110. You're getting your money back there for sure. And then plus 22, I would bet, say $20. Plus 24 points, I bet $10. You're just taking shots of what he's going to get. But the other thing is, for Evan Mobley to get 10 rebounds a game, and he was at 9.5 last year, is plus 175. So my favorite bet is to parlay 20 points, 10 rebounds, plus 490 if he gets 20 points and 10 rebounds this year. So
Both should do that.
I love all those bets, but my favorite is that parlay because I just think if he makes anywhere near the leap, and all of us think he will, 20 points and 10 rebounds is in the bag.
I dig it. I also, the NBA Cup, I always forget, A, that it exists. B, if they can make it, I mean, that would be great. They always seem to get knocked out, or they always get paired up with the Celtics or something. Obviously, they get blessed this year and not being matched up with some of those teams, but the injuries that have been already rampant through the East in the league. No Jason Tatum, no Halliburton, no Damian Lillard, but he got shipped out back to Portland. So, I think NBA Cup bets, I'm going to have to start looking into those.
Yeah. First of all, I forgot it existed as well until I was looking up these bets. But then I looked up the groups for the NBA Cup this year, and the Cavs group, let me just read this off for you. They've got Atlanta, Indiana, Toronto, and Washington.
Yeah. I couldn't remember I remember it was pretty slim pickings, though.
It should be at least a semifinals appearance, if not more.
Yeah, Hawks might be tough this year. They might be sneaky, but the Cavs are the second favorite to win the NBA Cup. So,
yeah, I think the Hawks are the only ones I could possibly see tripping them up. And for some reason, they always had trouble with the Hawks, dating back to like even early last year. They lost a back-to-back right around Thanksgiving to Atlanta. But yeah, you would think other than them, that's. Then again, what hard bracket is there in the East this year? I don't know if there is one.
Very fair. You dodge the Knicks, I guess, is the good news.
Right.
And Ozempic and Embiid over there in Philly. Not that anyone's ever afraid of the 76ers.
Well, Brandon West, you got any other? It doesn't have to be gambling wise, but any other like bold predictions? Something you think is going to happen with the Cavs this year that maybe a little bit off the rails? Not everybody's talking about.
I did find another kind of crazy one, and I'll put it in right now, since Skylar was already on the same wavelength, riding Lonzo Ball 6th Man of the Year. How about Eastern Conference Rookie of the Month for October and November of 25 with the early season injuries? Tyrese Proctor, 40-1, plus 4,000. We're not exactly sure what kind of offensive load DG is going to be able to take on, or what kind of minutes load, I should say, DG will be able to take on early in the year. Obviously, Max Strus is on the pine. Point being, there are minutes to be had.
Yeah.
And if he's playing well, I think he just demands more of them. So this is kind of like a correlated bet on if Tyrese Proctor is playing well early season, he probably gets allotted more minutes. And the list here isn't insane. Like the favorite at plus 220 is Con Knipple, who great player, but he's not going to be a world beater out there. So yeah, 40-1, 40-1. Tyrese Proctor.
I like off
Eastern
the wall.
Conference Rookie of the Month.
I looked for some real off the wall ones and I couldn't find too many. The only one I legitimately like and did bet is like Sam Merrill to score 10 plus points. I think he's going to be in double figures this year. It was almost plus 200. Like you were getting almost 2-1 odds on Sam Merrill to be in double digit figures. And not only because of, the injuries, he's going to get more playing time, but they signed him to a big contract. I think they think he's going to be an integral part of the team, whether he's starting or coming off the bench. I think 10 points for Sam Merrill is extremely possible.
I think if you're the Cavs, you really want that to cash.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Especially with the departure of guys like Ty Jerome. Yeah, we're gonna need some more shot making off the bench.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Have the Cavs designated their two ways yet?
Two of them, Travers and Tomlin. They're keeping one spot open right now, and our guy Keith Smith, guest of the podcast, put out today. There's like a dozen teams that are leaving that last two-way spot open, and just as a strategy, because everybody's getting cut right now, so you might might find somebody you want, or teams that are over the luxury taxes or the second apron like the Cavs are. It saves you a little bit of money by not filling that last spot if you're not really going to use it. So.
I don't think Dan Gilbert cares.
Yeah, maybe not. It's a paltry amount of money compared to what he's already paying. So he very well may not. But yeah, I wish I really wanted to find it. They didn't have any like crazy bets. I was looking for like DeAndre Hunter to score 20 points, is like plus 150. His career high is about 18. So he's another guy you think just might get more opportunities on the offensive end with with the injuries, with no Ty Jerome this year. RIP Ty Jerome. I haven't heard if he actually plays yet or not.
Mm-hmm.
But our guy, our beloved TJ Maxx, we miss him already. But yeah, no, I think that's all I got for crazy predictions. Les, Skylar, you got anything else?
No predictions, but I do want to kind of ask you guys, like, as I alluded to with the injuries, like, who is really challenging the Cavs this year for the East? I mean, you really have the Knicks. Outside of that, like, there seems to be a much wider gap now than there were last year, for sure.
Yeah.
There are some teams that, I was going to say, I just think there are some teams that have a ceiling that can compete with you. I think sort of like on average, we've got the best roster in the East. But when you think about some ceiling cases for some teams, I mentioned the Philadelphia 76ers with Joel Embiid back. They've got a ceiling case for the East, I think. The Atlanta Hawks, I do believe, with Kristaps Porzingis in town. Obviously, Trae Young still running the backcourt there. I think they have a ceiling case. And then obviously our folks over there in New York, our friendly fans, our friendly Knicks fans, definitely have a ceiling case as well. I see Big Rig in chat with Orlando and Detroit. I would say both of those teams as well do have a ceiling case where in Orlando, if Franz Wagner can get a little more efficient on the offensive end of the floor, we know what Paolo Banchero can be, especially in the playoffs. And then it's no secret to anyone that I'm a huge Cade Cunningham fan, as is probably the rest of NBA Twitter. So yeah, I think there's a lot of ceiling cases for these teams, but on average, you guys noted like the Cavs depth earlier in this episode. We've got the deepest roster. I think we just need to take care of business.
The Cavs and the Knicks, you have to kind of lump them together. They have the deepest, most proven rosters in the East, and it's not really close. Like I agree with what you're saying, Brandon, that like, I particularly like Atlanta and Orlando as teams that could jump this year. Could they jump as high as challenging for one of those top 2 seeds? I don't know, but they have a lot of really good young talent that hasn't like totally popped yet. And so I could see either of those teams challenging, but I still think barring catastrophe, it has to come down to New York and Cleveland and those other teams kind of vying for those 3 through 6 spots for the playoffs.
And good job by Big Rig too. I left out Giannis. Whoops.
I think it's okay. Go ahead, Wes.
No, I think after the top 2, the team that I'm looking at is my pick to be the 3rd seed in the East. Again, caveat, if healthy, is Orlando.
Yeah.
I think the addition of Desmond Bane might be sneaky the best addition in the Eastern Conference this year. And with all the other teams dropping off, I think if Orlando is healthy, they've got some size, they've got some physicality, and they have some experience now as well. And Bane's only going to add to all that. So I'd look for them to be the 3rd seed in the East. But again, with the depth, I don't know if they really scare me as a Cavs fan.
Yeah. And I would say, like, obviously, like you guys mentioned, like a ceiling reach, they could compete. But like Detroit and Orlando, they seem just young, not quite ready. They felt, I know they had some injuries in last year, but those two feel young. The Bucks don't feel like they're deep anymore. They feel like they kind of are trying to keep things together and keep things around Giannis, but nothing has quite worked out or materialized the way that they hoped. Indiana losing Miles Turner and Halliburton this season is detrimental. And
they're still going to play the Cavs crazy tough a couple.
Oh yeah, they're going to be the most physical team,
and it's going to make me so mad, but it's going to happen.
and for Atlanta, I think it's. And I don't want to get into Atlanta Twitter and get hated on, but the way that Trae Young plays basketball, I don't think that's going to get you a winning team where he holds onto the ball for 23 seconds and then hucks it over to somebody to throw up a Hail Mary shot.
Yeah, grenade. Yeah. I agree there. A lot of what you guys said. I think Orlando, they're the team I'm highest on, but besides the top 2, I agree. Wes, Desmond Bane, great signing. Franz was maybe the best player in the Euro Cup this summer. He looks incredible. Him and Paolo both being healthy, which neither of them were last year. I really like that team as an up and coming team, not necessarily to take a spot from. I see them as the Cavs maybe a year and a half ago, like not what the Cavs are right now.
Should also point out that they should be returning a healthy Jalen Suggs, which from an on-ball defensive standpoint is not to be taken too lightly.
Sure.
So yeah,
very fair.
For sure. Well, before we let you two out of here, we're going to do our big reveal, but I want to get your guys' opinion. I don't know if you saw our Twitter polls and everything today. So last year, maybe the smartest things podcast ever did, we decided we wanted our guy, like a Cav that you expect to be better than maybe other people do. You kind of looking for a guy who established himself this year, have a career year.
Guy.
We narrowed it down to 4 guys: Sam Merrill, Jalen Tyson, Craig Porter Jr., and Naquan Tomlin. If you were us, who would you pick out of those 4? Brian, I'll start with you.
Got to shout out Landino here, T-Lob, who last year said Craig Porter Jr. would start on half of the teams in the NBA right now if he weren't on the
Bold
Cavs.
prediction.
My answer is Craig Porter Jr., CPJ. I'm really excited for what he can do, honestly. I think T-Lob wasn't too far off. I think the take was a little hot, but I've been impressed. I've been impressed ever since. I've been keeping a close eye on CPJ, and I think the kid's got talent. So, yeah, CPJ is my answer.
Couldn't agree more on all of that. I do think it's a scorching hot take. But I love Craig Porter Jr. as well. Wes, what about you?
So I think I voted for Craig Porter Jr. in this poll.
Mm-hmm.
But for contrarian's sake, and to tie into a point made earlier, Sam Merrill, if he makes that leap, if he's averaging over 10 points a game, he's somebody who can help take the Cavs to that next level. And I think they're going to really focus on establishing him earlier in the season. So I think Craig Porter Jr., I'd love to see him. I think he's the real pick, but Sam Merrill might be the money pick here, the value pick.
It's a tough one. The Cavs are a team where it's real easy to fall in love with just about any guy on the roster. And so last year we kind of threw a dart at the wall and landed on Ty Jerome, and it couldn't have gone better like before the season even started. But no, yeah, we appreciate it, guys. Well, guys, thank you coming on for so much. Thank you for all your support with Playback and you know, we're in no way a competitor channel on Playback. We just want to be friends with you all. And the Landino.
Always
I am
friends.
Landino. I was
Always
one of the first
friends.
Landinos.
Certified Landino.
No, for sure. But no, definitely looking forward to having you guys on, doing a bunch with yourselves and Playback overall this year. And thanks again for spending some of your Sunday night with us.
Hey, appreciate it, guys. Let's go get them this year. Let's go Cavs.
I hear it.
Go Cavs.
Thanks for having us, fellas.
You got it.
Go Cavs.
Guys.
Good Cavs. All right. So, Skylar, I have the results. I put them out on all of our social medias, and it couldn't have been less conclusive. Twitter wanted Sam Merrill as to be our guy. Facebook wanted Craig Porter Jr. and Blue Sky wanted us to be Jalen Tyson. And while Naquan Tomlin didn't win any of them, he did had a lot of nice comments. A lot of Cavs fans out there are real high on him. So if you're ready, Skylar, I think reveal who is the block the shot stops Cleveland Cavaliers guy for this year. The guy that we are going to back no matter what. He is our new Ty Jerome RIP. Who do we got?
We have our guy, Jalen Iron Tyson. Yeah. This is our nickname for him this year. We gave Ty Jerome TJ Maxx last year. Kind of going off of Iron Mike Tyson, Jalen Iron Tyson. And I'll honestly, tell you why he's my pick.
Go ahead.
He's my pick because I think he's going to get the most opportunities out of most of the guys. I mean, you know what you're getting from Sam Merrill. You just need more of it. Yeah. I don't know how much time Proctor or Tomlin are going to get on the floor, but we've been very extensive in that this is our guy. This is who we're picking. And I'll put our faces back up here. This is our guy. This is who we're picking. And I think not only does he get the opportunities, but he can show the myriad of things that he can do to contribute to this team.
Very, very well said. I was remiss in saying one of the things about it being our guy, we wanted to be somebody that didn't already have a well-known nickname and we can nickname them. Like last year was, like you said, Ty Jerome was TJ Maxx because he brought great value every day. It started out as a joke and then couldn't have become more true. Jalen Iron Tyson is a great nickname for so many reasons. One, it's just a fire nickname to begin with.
Badass.
But secondly, it does describe who he is and he's going to do for this Cavs team. He's going to be the toughness. He's going to be the guy on the floor. He's going to be the guy, taking on the tough perimeter defensive assignments, bodying up, filling in the cracks where the Cavs need him to with so many stars and high caliber offensive players on this team. I expect him, injuries aside, to be in the rotation all year and to play a predominant role throughout the season when they have guys rest, when, they play certain matchups where they need his ability in the lineup. I just think Jalen Tyson, if you ask the average person, you think maybe he's going to be the 10th guy or so on this team. I think he's going to be like the 6th or 7th guy on this team. I really think he's going to be one of those guys that's getting 20 plus minutes a game and that Kenny doesn't hesitate to play him against anyone and play him defensively against anybody in the league.
Yeah. My question to you is over under, let's say 10.5 minutes a game.
Way over.
Way over.
Way over. I think he's going to average over 20 minutes a game. And I think he's going to end up being top 5 in the Cavs in overall minutes played, because I think he's a guy that wants to and possibly will play all 82 games if he's healthy. There's almost going to be nobody on the Cavs that plays as many games as him. And if he's consistent, I think he's going to get a consistent 20 minutes a game on this team. Like, that's not only because of his ability, but it's also Kenny's strategy of not wanting to overwork guys during the regular season, playing starters close to 30 minutes a game. You know, there were a few guys coming off the bench for the Cavs last year that got about 20 minutes a game, including Ty Jerome. And I think Jalen's going to be one of those guys. If there was a bet for Jalen Tyson 20 plus minutes a game and it was good odds, I would bet
it. My one struggle, I don't want to say struggle because it's not a struggle, but I do think he's going to get more opportunities because of what we said. We'll have a little more load management. So he'll get some more opportunities to show off, I would say, and a little more consistency than what we got last year. I do wonder how he'll be in the shuffle of Ball, CPJ, and Tyson. So I know that there's like kind of a little bit of a shuffle out there for that, but hey, man, this is still the guy. This is the guy I'm picking. This is the guy you're picking. This is the guy we are picking. And well, I think it's a strong pick.
I couldn't agree more. And as Wes said in the chat, he looked good in summer league. He, like what a lot of people know, at Cal in college, his last season, he actually played point forward. He has a little bit more ball handling ability than he showcased for the Cavs. And he did showcase it some in summer league. I mean, summer league is what it is, but like, I think that's another reason he'll get more playing time, is because they have just less guys to handle the ball than they did last year between the injuries to Garland and Strus and then Ty Jerome being gone. I actually saw there was a stat. There's a stat that almost nobody uses, but I love it. It's TWB, time with ball. Like the amount of time that the ball is in your hands, you're dribbling it, shooting it, whatever. And last year, Garland was 1. Which always makes sense. A point guard bringing the ball up the court, it makes sense why he would be top. Mitchell was 2, Mobley was 3, but then Ty Jerome was 4 and Strus was 5. So 3 of the guys that literally had their ball in the hands the most will not be available for the Cavs to start the season. One won't be there all year. Strus won't be there till the All-Star break. So there's just a lot of opportunity to have the ball in your hands, like literally with this team. And I think you combine his the toughness we talked about, the defensive ability, the willing to do the dirty work, throw in the fact that he can handle the ball a little bit. I think that those are all things that the Cavs could greatly use on this team, and why in my opinion, he's going to get really consistent rotation minutes throughout the year.
Hey, you got my vote, man. I think, I was surprised that Maxx Strus was on that list, to be honest.
No, we love Jalen. Jalen, we're going to be behind you and behind all the cast. Obviously, we're an Evan Mobley podcast. We're a Donovan Mitchell podcast. But it's fun to pick a guy who's kind of on the, a little bit on the outskirts of the rear view, and expecting him to do bigger things than maybe others are thinking of him. And Jalen's going to be our guy for that this year. And we're excited. Excited. And again, one more time, Ty, we still love you. We'll always love you on this podcast. We will always be a Ty Jerome podcast, no matter what, for the season you gave us last year. And I haven't seen the news yet, but I do hope your injury is not as bad as it looked on Friday. But
it looked terrible.
Yeah. With that, Skylar, you got any final thoughts on as we go into the season? Wednesday night is our last podcast before a live Cleveland Cavaliers basketball game.
I guess I have a question for you, and it wasn't in our kind of show notes, so I'm kind of coming with this on the spot. And chat, feel free to hop in and let me know your thoughts. But with the financials of this team, like you pointed out, they're the only second apron team.
Yep.
They have some picks again, but I don't know. The picks part is messy. When the time comes for the trade deadline, how does this team maneuver with kind of the new hoops that they have to jump through? Not saying I discredit any of the guys that are on the floor, but obviously a bit of a roster turnover. You're hoping it plays out better, either the same or better than last year. So what do you think they do as it gets closer to that time, knowing the position this team and Dan Gilbert has put themselves?
All right, I got two answers for you. The second's going to be better than the first, but the first answer is it's super complicated, but possible in the second apron. You almost for sure have to get a third team involved, and there's like all kinds of restrictions and everything. So I'm not a master at that, but and why my second answer is better. Luca from Real Cavs fans, if you're out there, we need you on the show to answer Skylar's Cavs. Luca, for those of you who were listening last year, appeared on the show at least twice, maybe three times. Was a good partner with us. We'd love to have him back because he would be able to answer that. So I would say we'll probably have him on before that, but we'll ask Luca as we're getting towards, maybe the end of the year and you're starting to think about if they're going to make any moves, because he'd be the guy to ask.
Yeah. The pieces that I would say that they could do something with, you could probably get a good piece for Dean Wade, expiring contract.
Yeah.
He's really their only expiring contract right now. So Dean Wade would be the only guy that like you could do kind of straight up, I would say.
Yeah.
The other guy that you could probably get something or make a 3-team move around would be Maxx Strus, who's got this year and next year contract wise. But those are the kind of the guys. And look, I don't want to see those guys go anywhere because when they're on the floor, they're producing.
Yep.
But you have to give up value to get value.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, and we kind of talked about towards the beginning of the episode, the one potential Achilles heel I could see with this team is if they continue to have injuries in the backcourt, because they without a Ty Jerome this year, and with Craig Porter Jr. as high as we are, and him still being a bit of a question mark, with Lonzo Ball having looked so good, but he had like an experimental surgery on his knee that no professional athlete's ever had before. So who knows how he's going to hold up. That is the Achilles heel, is will they be able to keep enough ball handlers and playmakers healthy throughout the year? And if not, will they have to make a move to get one?
Right.
So other than that, I expect this team, if they can stay reasonably healthy, to kind of have all the pieces they would need. But if it's a trade deadline and we're talking about needing a serious piece, my guess it would be because it would be in the backcourt because because they've had some injuries back there.
Yeah. And so I had to pull it up, but they have their own first pick this year.
Yep.
Because it's a swap with like 1,000 teams in the league. They basically get the worst of the whole swap, but they do have a pick this year. And if you're the Cavs, you're hoping that's pick 30, which is your own pick anyway.
Right. No, it's a good point. That I have some reservations about, like, will they be able to make a move, and they may need to make a move just with the playoffs in mind. I think this group is once again very well positioned to have a great regular season. They're we didn't talk about in the betting segment but their over under wins has gone back and forth between like 56 and 57. I think that's the right number. They had 64 last year, but we were talking they may prioritize, regular season wins here and there. So I think that's the right number. I'd go a slight over. I think they'll be in the high 50s, would be my guess. But I think, my last message, I guess, Skylar, and like, I'm sure you'll second this, but I think I saw it online. Everyone says, like, wake me up in April with this team. All I want to see is what they do in the playoffs and everything. And I think that is the wrong way to look at this. The Cavs are one of the best teams in the NBA. Yes, their season will be defined by what they do in the playoffs, since they've come up short there the last couple of years. But why deprive yourself of all the joy of watching beautiful Cavs basketball, enjoying them winning a lot more than they're losing all season, just to want to wake up in April. I want to see every single minute of every single game, because I think this team is going to be just about as enjoyable to watch as they were last year. And last year, they're potentially the most enjoyable professional team I've ever followed.
I agree. Wake me up in April, and like when it counts and when it's a little more important, but I want to watch the road to April. I put it out there last year and it came true. I said last year at the beginning of the season, I was like, this could be a wire to wire. Now they didn't finish the end of the wire, but they were in first place from tip off all the way to the end. So I want to watch that again. That's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And an era where NBA gets criticized for their style of play and things like that, Cavs basketball was absolutely beautiful to watch last year. The offense they ran, the proficiency that they played with, the depth of their talents. Like, I couldn't disagree more respectfully with those people who are having that take about just waiting for the playoffs. I'd go enjoy. I go enjoy every minute of it. So we're gonna get out of here. Before we do, Skylar, I will let you tell everyone, and we'll make sure we put this on social since we're doing it at the end of the episode. But we're switching up a little bit how we're gonna cover the team this year. And you take it away. Go ahead and tell them what our plans are for the season.
Yeah, so last year we were live after every game. Super fun and enjoyable, but it did become a bit taxing, especially since we are just dads talking Cavs. So we obviously have day jobs, we have families, we have everything. So we're going to switch up our cadence this year to be a little more rhythmic and a little more sequential. So we will be live every Wednesday and Sunday night. Depending if there's a game on those days, we might hold off until after the game and whatnot, but we will be live on Wednesdays and Sundays through the regular season. We might throw out a couple of special episodes like we did last year with some friends. But that's kind of our new sequence for the show, just to avoid burnout and still deliver high quality Cavs content for everybody.
Very well said. I'd say the only other thing is to increase our ability to engage with the people who enjoy our show. The fact that we can do it twice a week at we're gonna try and do a set time every Sunday and Wednesday, unless Skylar said it conflicts with a game, then we'll wait till obviously the game's over to start recording. But we're hoping doing twice a week at a consistent time instead of doing shows at 10, 11 o'clock at night after every game, that we can do a few more episodes where we get all of you listeners to, join on live and ask us questions and have some more interaction, because we truly enjoy that. And the more we can get of that, the better.
Absolutely. And it's going to be great. It's going to be a fun season.
Absolutely. Well, I can't wait. We have to wait 3 more sleeps, but we will be back Wednesday night. We'll be live pretty much right after the game ends with the Knicks, and from then on, we'll make sure we broadcast on our socials. And we'll try not to be too repetitive, but we'll remind people the next couple of episodes what our new cadence is. And would love all of you to join us Wednesday night after hopefully a thorough beating of the New York Knicks in the opening night for the Cavs. So for Skylar Webker, I'm Kevin Lynch. Thank you all for joining. Thank you BTOW, thank you Wes for hopping on. Appreciate you guys spend some time with us. And let's get ready for Cavs basketball, Skylar.